All right, hey guys, welcome back to Tactical Rifleman. I apologize, we're a couple minutes late here. We had an internet outage, believe it or not. Here's the deal, I don't know if you keep up on current events, but we have had, not last couple of days, but we have had rough weather across the U.S., right? You guys caught all this. Well, trees down, no big deal. You fix the power to the masses and then everything. Internet's kind of lower on the list. So when Mediacom's fixing local stuff, they wait till the businesses are closed down for a day and then they start doing wires and stuff. So everything was working fine before I went to dinner with my blushing bride. And I got a guest that stopped by with dinner also. I think you guys are going to love Twitch. Twitch is good people. I'll bring him on in a little bit. So anyways, I come back from doing tacos. We actually did fajitas, and it was awesome. It was awesome, except my son sitting here pulling his hair out because there's no internet. So we reset every router and everything else. Can you guys hear me okay? It looks like I'm spiking really, really bad. So I'm going to, that one's muted. I'm going to dial this down. Audio. Check the mic. You guys saying it's bad? How's that now, guys? Is the audio any better? I'm gonna lower it down just a little bit more. We'll see. You guys let me know if you guys can hear me okay. Yes, no. Better. 5x5 now. Okay, that's better. Cool. Hey, we got our usual sponsor back. You guys know them as Bucked Up. This is my favorite stuff that they make, which woke as, I mean, like literally like make your hair stand up. Especially if you just got over knee surgery and you lost all your muscle mass because you've been on your ass for 3 months. I am trying, according to the doctors, too hard, but I'm trying to get back in shape because I got classes that start tomorrow morning. I've got Emery Morgenstern here in town. He just hooked the Tactical Rifleman trailer up to the back of his truck. And but anyways, I want to thank Bucked Up right here for sponsoring us tonight. You're interested in getting pumped up, like having you're at your target heart rate without even having to do any cardio at all. Their pre-workout stuff is badass. You go to buckedup.com. If you want their energy drinks, like let's say you want a Monster, but you don't want to buy a Monster because they're diehard liberals, you want to go with a American company that's big into hunting and stuff like that, buckedupenergy.com, buckedupenergy.com. And so anyways, I want to thank them for sponsoring tonight. You guys know the deal. You can click Super Chat if you want to get your question thrown up on the screen for a little while and guaranteed that I see it. You make a small donation to the Preservation of Carl Erickson Foundation, right? You can do $2, you can do $10. I had a guy do a $200 super chat. I think he did 3 in one night. This was one of our first live streams, and then he got that bill, and he never did that again. I think the guy was drinking that night, but again, if you want to do super chat, cool, but you don't need to. If you've got a legitimate question, plug it in the chat room, and my moderators will pull those questions, and they will send them to me on my phone. All right, I got JT just text me. He says, and you're live. Okay, that's always bonus. I believe Donut is going to be the one sending me questions tonight. So JT will keep the rest of you guys in line. Please don't. If you are a troll or a libtard, understand this is probably not. Well, you're welcome to hang out and all, but be aware, we're going to end up making you better people. You know, education does that. It really does. So anyways, we got a great show planned tonight. Like I said, I've got a couple of guests, and I got a full tummy. I got a full bottle. I poured some coffee in there with my woke AF, and I'm going to be able to stay up. Whether I get up in time for class or not, that's another story. It'll work out. It will definitely work out. It's too late for you to sign up for classes this weekend, guys. It is. I've still got. I had 4 graduation certificates I have to print tonight after the live stream. Guys signed up literally yesterday or today. That said, if you want to get in on tactical rifleman training for the rest of the year, we have Gunrunner Carbine, which is not this weekend coming up. That's the advanced course. The following weekend is Gunrunner Carbine. It's going to be in Clarksville, Tennessee, right outside Fort Campbell at Montgomery County Shooting Complex. Emery Morgenstern is the lead instructor on that 2-day course. Totally badass. And then the next class after that is Gunrunner Pistol. That is at Range 35 in Texas, outside of Dallas. And I want to say it's mid to late October. And then our last class of the year, not counting private classes, but our last public class of the year is High Risk Travel. And that is, I want to say, second weekend in December. And we still have slots open for that one. That, to me, is one of the most educational courses that you can take, because we cover a lot of different subjects that you just don't find available in other places. You just don't. Yes, we do escapology, how to get out of flex cuffs and how to get out of handcuffs and pick and locks and all that stuff. But the key to high risk travel is avoid getting kidnapped. So we get into route selection and surveillance and counter surveillance and how to travel safe, how to park, and all kinds of tips. You know, you're gonna pick a hotel. Where do you stay? All right. You want to stay the 3rd to the 5th floor. Why? Well, I appreciate you asking. Historically speaking, most of your cat burglar stuff, your breaking and entering hotel rooms are usually the 1st or the 2nd floor, so that if you come in and catch the robber in your room, they can jump out the window. They can drop 1 story, no big deal. You don't want to be, so you don't want 1st or 2nd floor. You want 3rd or higher. You don't want higher than the 5th floor, because most fire departments do not have ladders that can go higher than the 5th floor windows. Just small little trivia there. Anyways, that is one of 10,000 little snippets you get in that 3-day course. Again, if you're interested in high-risk travel or those gun runner classes, you can sign up at tacticalrifleman.com. Keep checking there, because it's not ready yet, but we are starting to build our training calendar for 2024. And Travis Hall wants to add some medical classes, a bunch of EDC concealed carry classes coming. I've got requests for some more night vision classes. We'll see. Now, my patrons, those of you patrons that are watching, if you haven't signed up yet, again, this class is open to patrons. Patreon.com/Tactical Rifleman. That class is the last week of October, and I still got room for probably another 5 or 10 patrons. I will never say no to patrons, but it's going to be a great class. We're doing everything from knife and axe throwing to Barrett 50 cals to lever guns to shooting ARs from Little Bird helicopters. That's day 4, the final day. Trying to end on a good note. But yeah, me and my patrons, we're going to be having a blast. Again, sign up at tacticalrifleman.com or reach out to me on Patreon, and you can, we'll work it out, and you can pay me when you show up there. No big deal. No big deal at all. All right. So I'm 17 minutes in. I'm going to be bringing a guest on here, and his name's Twitch. All right, he's got Tourette's. Don't give him a hard time, because he's really good people. How I met him is, you guys remember when the tornado came through Western Kentucky and completely mowed downtown Mayfield flat, mowed the town flat. And there was this group called Refuge Medical. You guys know Bear Independent. It's a great guy, and whether you're a fan of Bear or not a fan of Bear, I could care less. What I know is his guys, they do a lot of teaching medical, not just disaster, and then they do. They're very large involved in the battle against human trafficking, and but one of the big things that they do, Refuge Medical, that they name medicals, they teach medical classes. So not this year, but year prior in Texas, I was teaching all these shooting classes back to back, and they asked if they could plug a 2-day medical class at the beginning of it. Of course, the whole world needs more medical training. Well, I met the lead instructor there, and his name's Twitch, and this guy is passionate about teaching, and I sat through the whole class, and watching what he was doing to his students at getting their heart rates up and getting you into the scenario that this is real. It was amazing. I've never seen anybody teach medical classes like that. So he reached out to me and he's like, hey, still love Refuge Medical, but I'm off. God's laid it on my heart to do this as a missionary for free, and I'm taking this on the road, and could you help me get the word out? And I was like, yeah, I mean, I think he was wanting like an Instagram post or something. I was like, Twitch, I can do you one better. So I invited him to come hang out with us here at the live stream. Twitch, you out there? Come snuggle. Come snuggle. You're in a snuggling mood?
Oh, man.
All right. Come visit.
All right.
All right.
Well, thank you for having me.
Dude, you're drinking my last root
sorry.
beer.
You told me it was available.
The drinker man's last root beer. No, I did tell him, help yourself to anything in the fridge. So I kind of gave him a little bit of an intro.
Okay.
You're actually taking your eye pro off.
Yeah, dude, it glares, man.
I was.
Plus, everybody wonders, is it just because he likes safety
so
license?
Bright. He's got to. So we just went to do Mexican. I mentioned my blushing bride. My best friend Casey Belts is in town with his blushing bride, and Wild Man wore iPro the whole time. I don't know
prescription, brother.
Okay, but I was thinking. I was like, what has he heard about me? Because some people think that like I shoot people at dinner and stuff. You understand? I have never shot anybody at dinner. It's never happened.
Never, not once.
There's always the first time, I guess, but sometimes people start wearing iPro around me. I'm like,
no, so because I'm a guy that twitches, man, I got real tired when I was a cop of my glasses falling off. So I was like, all right, I'm just going to wear something that straps to my noggin, and now I like them that way.
So you have like real Tourette's.
Oh, yeah, the real Tourette's.
So like not the FU and cursing at the nuns on the subway Tourette's.
No, see, there are some people, there's different grades.
Yeah, of course.
It's just like autism. Yeah. with the grades of that. No, it's funny though, because you can sometimes use it. When I was a kid, you'd go up to Cracker Barrel, right? You're waiting for your table. I'd go up there to the desk, and you're going to ask when your table's going to be ready. And if you just start like freaking out and twitching all over the place, I promise they'll seat you.
You get a table faster.
Oh yeah.
See, I'd see what I'm missing out on. See what I'm missing out on. All right, but you do well. You do well.
Oh yeah, man.
But the cool part is, this man is animated. When it comes to teaching, he's animated. Yeah. So being wired up and getting the jitters a little bit, there's nothing wrong with it. It plays right into your.
It does. It plays right in.
Your cartoon character. Yeah. So they actually, there's a company that's they're putting together a video game for vets that have post-traumatic stress to deal with it. And how they deal with it is they play in the video game. It's some combat, first-person shooter. But every so often, one of the characters in there will sit down and share a war story and how he deals with it. So Command Sergeant Major Rick Lamb, who's like one of my legends, he's one of my heroes. He's done a couple TR videos. He's like, Carl, man, they made me a character. They computerized him. He is a character in a video game, and wow. He's 30 years younger. And they're like, you want your mustache back? He's like, just make my junk stick out more. And I was like, okay, Rick, I understand, right?
Priorities.
But so I get roped into it. So I have, no joke, a computer Carl Erickson out there.
No way.
That's serious a heart attack. It's up on Instagram. I would show it to you guys, but it's embarrassing. It really is, because you see I got a porn stash in some of these pictures. You see, this is me in the Joff. Yeah, that's a porn stash, right? Well, the video game Carl Erickson, that stash comes all the way down. I'm like, guys, I'm not in Blue Oyster Cult. You know, and you need to shorten that mustache a little bit.
No, I think it works for you.
Yeah.
It works for you.
So, anyways, but when they do your computer video game character, dude, can you imagine the shakes this character's gonna have?
I have a GoPro that I'll wear sometimes when I'm teaching classes, and it has to be a chest mount because you just can't track. It'll give you some queasiness if you're watching it from my head, man. Yeah. What's funny is though, when you're growing up, you get used to it. Everybody's got something they deal with. Some people got back pain, some people got missing limbs, whatever, right? Yeah. For me, I just have way too much energy, and it seems to come out through vibrations.
I'll tell them our sponsor tonight is Booked Up, and
heck yeah.
This is their pre-workout, and I've been down. I had a full knee replacement, and I was like, yeah, I'll be down 2 weeks. They told me you'll be on the couch for 2 weeks. I figured 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Oh no, they're like they tell me afterwards. Oh yeah, you're looking at 12 months before you're. I'm like 12 months. You told me 2 weeks. So I've lost. All I've got now is a beer gut, and so I'm trying to get back in shape. And I get up in the morning, I was like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. So I take my Woke AF pre-workout. And they've got all these other blue raspberries, my favorite flavor, by the way.
I'll try that one.
But the cool part is you take a little bit of this crack cocaine right here and you put it in your mocha. I always drink coffee on my live streams.
Okay.
And but it doesn't mix with coffee well, so you got to use a shaker.
Gotcha.
Emery's gonna remind me that I need to get to sleep because I gotta be on the road at 6 a.m.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah, I'm sure you got people watching coming to class, right?
Probably. I hope we do. I hope we do indeed.
You'll have to bear with me, by the way. My voice is shot from the last 2 days of my stuff.
Because you've just been doing 2 days, right?
Yeah.
All right. So I started to tell them about you did a medical class for me down in Texas, not for me, but I helped you get it, and I love your teaching method. It's not for the faint-hearted. It's for people that think they're going to actually get in the shit. You get them amped up and you get them dirty, and you just make them get over everything. The ickiness, ickiness don't bother you after this.
That's the point.
Yeah, that's the point. If you're going to stop the bleeding, you can't be squirmish, and you will not be squirmish after his class. And here's the deal. I'm not saying you got to be already not squirmish ahead of time. That defeats the purpose. If you're one of those guys that has problems with blood or has problems with being in the mud or dusty or yelling and confusion, that's not your thing. You can't do it. You wouldn't have made a good special forces medic. Okay, that's 99% of the planet, 99.9% of the planet. Yep. Come take Twitch's class, and by the end,
don't die on me.
No, that's those fajitas.
Ooh, they're coming back.
Made it up to about right here.
Oh man,
my high A zone, not quite all the way up. Try Twitch's classes, and he'll definitely push you over the edge. All right, so you reached out to me, and it wasn't ill feelings. This actually started with a trip to Ukraine. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, and I won't bore everybody too long, but I'm a kind of guy, whether you are or not, we can get along, I'm sure. I'm the kind of guy that I try to live my life through prayer. Okay, so with that comes asking God, hey, what do you want me to do today? I've even got, here I am, send me, branded on my arms, and that's how I try to live. So I was working for Refuge Training, which is part of Refuge Medical, for the last couple years, and I wrote a portion of the curriculum that they use, and I really enjoyed teaching it. I was their lead instructor, and we came to this moment when I was in the office one day, and I was packing gauze in a bag, and I felt like the Holy Spirit just pressed on me, and I heard in my head, have you asked me about whether or not you should go to Ukraine? And honestly, my first reaction when that thought hit my mind was, that's a terrible idea, no. And I'm having like this conversation in my mind. I'm like, I don't care about Ukraine. I was like, I don't want to go there. And but it came back to me. It's like, yeah, but did you ask me? Because you got my words branded on your arm. You'll go where I want you to go. So I was like, crap, now I got to go pray about it. See if that's what he wants me to do. Long story short, I ended up going.
You ended up going to Ukraine.
They ended up going, yeah. And went in February for a couple weeks with a couple guys that I knew, one of which I trained in Waco. We went over there and trained about 110 soldiers in Kharkiv. How to not die. Like, that was the whole thing. I didn't go because of anything political. I don't care about that. I don't care about any of the actual war, any of the stuff going on with the politics. I care about human life. And so that was my objective. I was like, if we can take medical supplies and teach one person, cool, that's better than none. Well, we got a lot better than that.
Yeah.
This colonel that met with us loved it. He observed a lot of the training style that I had. Again, it's dirtier, it's more aggressive in nature. It's not classroom.
But that's what they need in the trenches.
Man, it is.
That's exactly what they need.
And what I also found was here it's applicable too, because even if you're not going to be in trenches, maybe you're not into preparedness or you don't think that, self-defense or self-preservation is valuable. Well, car wrecks happen every day. I mean, I've been in multiple.
Oh, yeah.
And you can easily use the same exact skills in those environments. So it's applicable to all of us. So when we were getting ready to come back, I actually took my family with me the second time. And we were there for 2.5 months.
Kids.
I did. I have a 6-year-old and a 4-year-old.
You took a 6 and a 4-year-old to Ukraine.
I did. We were in Zaporozhye while the whole conversation about the nuclear plant, melting down. We were there for that. I was training guys in Kherson before the dam got attacked. A couple weeks later, I was out of there. All over the country, in Dnipro Oblast, like I said, Kharkiv, Odessa. I baptized a guy with a bucket in Odessa. Long story short, we get ready to come back after almost 3 months of being there. And I talked to my wife, and I'm like, I don't think I'm supposed to go back and work for Refuge. I don't have any ill will towards them. They're great guys. They've got good objectives. I think they're doing good work.
They're good people. Refuge is good people.
And I still live near several of them. Like, I live out in an area they're near to. And so I have love for them. At the same time, it doesn't mean that that's what God wants me to do. Just like the question, hey, do you want me to go wherever?
That's fair.
And so that's where I ended up. My wife and I chatted, and so we started something that we're calling Save One More Life. So
is that the name of the company?
It is.
A company?
Yes, it's a nonprofit. And SaveOneMore.life is the website. It's not .com. It's SaveOneMore.life. And we're kind of unique in how we're formatted. So I was professional and making my living in training people, right? And that was after I left law enforcement. And now we're doing it donation based only, which is somewhat of a unique format. So I'm not trying to make my living, I'm not bashing anyone that does, but I'm not trying to make my living at this time through these classes. I literally just want to do the same format for our people that I was willing to do in Ukraine.
In Ukraine.
Yeah, because that's what I felt led.
So you're offering these classes for free?
Yes. You can sign up and literally not pay anything. We have, at some suggestions from some friends of ours, actually, they were like, you should probably put a recommended donation, but it's not required. You can sign up for the class. We've got 2 listed currently coming up in October, one in Lynchburg, Virginia. I'm from Virginia. I was a cop in Virginia. On the 23rd, 24th. It's going to be at a church. I've been to that church before. It's a good venue for it. And then we've got another one at the end of October 30th and 31st. And that one is going to be actually near here. It's going to be, I think, Bowling Green area.
Bowling Green, that's right up the road. Yeah. Me and Emery were actually teaching a class there weekend before last.
Yep. Yeah. And so it's cool to me. So every time we've got like a spreadsheet, right? We fund these classes or get the materials to do these classes, rent the venues, all that stuff from the donations.
Yeah.
And so it's really encouraging and inspiring to me that people have already donated to supply what is needed for the Lynchburg and the Bowling Green class. Okay. So like when you see these public classes on our website pop up, it's because somebody cared enough about the mission statement to either donate towards it, even if they can't come.
Yeah.
Or to be like, you know what, I'd like to go to that, and here's what I think it's worth to me. And that is a unique format, I think.
All right, one more time. What's the website?
Sure, saveonemore.life. And those are all words, not the number one. Saveonemore.life.
Hey, JT, if every so often you'll just plug that in the chat, because I know I got a lot of people that are going to be coming in here over the next hour or so that are going to be scrolling through the chat to see what kind of jackassery they've missed. All right, so if you can plug it back in. All right, so one thing, guys, and here's why. When he mentioned it to me, he's like, will you help me promote this?
Yep.
And full disclosure, I get asked a lot to review equipment, to review this, to attend people's classes, that, hey, will you help us promote this nonprofit? Will you help us promote this? And you guys see that I do this quite often. I will bring up nonprofits or things that I think are worthy causes for us to throw money at. I'm not asking you. This is not one of those. I'm not asking you to throw money at him.
Nope.
I'm not doing that.
I'm not asking you either.
The reason why when he told me his business model, I'm like, I have no doubt the Lord is going to keep him funded. Okay, and it'll be some of you guys. It will, but I'm not asking you guys to do that. Rather, this guy's one of the best medical instructors for teaching you, the guys that have never had medical classes before, or you've taken a Stop the Bleed class, or you're that cop that has sat through a TCCC class taught by another cop, or you took a medical seminar at some survival retreat or something. You've had basics, or you took CPR in high school or college. You've had a little bit, and you're ready to take that next step, and you want real training that's going to actually immerse you in the scenarios. But the cool part is you don't have to have all that pre-training. Twitch, I love the way you teach it. I do.
Thank
you. If that's why I was like, instead of me just putting a picture up on Instagram, I need to share that ugly mug with you guys, because that's what you're going to see is the smile the whole time.
And you're going to see these, man. I'm sorry.
You're going to see the smile, and he's going to be standing behind you, telling you what's going on in the scenario with the moulage wounds and everything. And you're going to be trying to pack gauze, and there's going to be all this fake blood getting squirted on it.
A lot of noise. I love noise.
Yeah, which means that the tourniquet's probably not working. And anyways, it was fun to watch you and your guys do that. And the funny part was that they were talking about barricading doors in run, hide, barricade, and then prepare to fight. That's what everybody teaches. But very few people actually have you do it. Instead of just running chicken with your head cut off, find that next place of cover and concealment. All right, I'm going to run to there. Get there, reassess. All right, I'm going to run to there. I run, then hide, okay? But the next one, barricade. He has his guys go right now. You've got like so many seconds to barricade the door. There's no lock on the door. Barricade it. And you said something about every so often you got to replace doors on classrooms.
Oh, God, yeah. So even down to like, we had to be careful how we would do that. Everybody's got this knowledge, right? Everybody's got this knowledge that you can take your belt off and you can wrap it around the accordion closure of these doors in schools or hospitals, whatever. And it's just an instant fix. Cool. And I asked the students, and this is again in the previous teaching style. I actually wrote entirely new curriculum for what we're doing. Same style of teaching though, but it's what I found worked for the soldiers. But this is something that we did. Where the accordion closure, I'll get someone in class, hey, pull your belt off, throw it on there. It never works. It never works because you need it to be a certain level of tension and friction.
And it can't have any stretch. And everybody wears stretch belts now because they're more comfortable.
And so we've literally, I think it was in Utah, we ripped the closure off of the door. So it wasn't even that it didn't work. The screws holding the closure to the door were only a 1/4 inch in. So we just stripped those right out. We broke the door. And we've had it at least twice that we've broken doors doing it.
Awesome stuff. Awesome. All right. So yeah, hey, sincerely, guys, Twitch he's teaching these classes for free. Can you imagine if you could go tactical rifleman classes and warrior poet classes and Pat Mack teaching classes for free? You'd jump on those, right? Well, all right, I'd sign up for a warrior poet class.
I'd sign up for
But that's what he's doing, and that is the medical class that I want to jump on. So
that's a big compliment coming from you.
No, but sincerely, I was a special forces medic. I teach TCCC, but when we put a TCCC class on our calendar, I will assistant teach. Every once in a while, I'll be lead instructor if the lead instructor has something come up. I'm capable of teaching it, but I want the guys that I would want to teach me, sure. And this is one of them right here. Guys that are passionate and they have little, and it's not just learning the material. I know so many people that have got their certifications to teach TCCC. That does not makes them a good TCCC instructor. But what makes a great medical instructor is experience with real actual wounds, experience with real actual scenarios, but also time teaching it and having the passion to just keep grabbing and trying new things. And anyways, Twitch, you got it.
Yeah,
and
thank you.
Yeah, so, and guys, don't get hung up because he uses the word God. I understand it's a 4-letter word for a lot of the libtards out there. My phone, if I start texting, it will auto-generate all these words except G-O-D.
Really?
You ever try it? Try it on your iMessenger. It will not put G-O-D on your phone. That tells you how fucked up the world is right now. Excuse my language.
No, you're good, man. You've heard me in class.
Yeah.
I've at times used it a lot.
Yeah.
Language is purpose-driven.
But yeah, so he's not going to push it down your throat or nothing. No. Not at all. But he's not scared to say it either.
Now, I'm one of these guys that I try to witness about the way that something made sense to me, right? So when you're teaching classes, just like you said, you're coming from an experience and you're going to present that in a way that makes sense in your mind, how you could learn it. So you're going to use that to teach someone else.
Yeah.
Well, that's the reason that I think testimonies are so important, even outside of anything to do with God. So testimonies are usually associated only with things of religion. But testimonies of combat or of police work or of just rendering aid or car wrecks or whatever the thing is, that's really important because it makes things relatable. Yeah. That's what I think you're trying to get at in my relation here is that I'm going to present it, guys, the way that it made sense in my mind. So there is a spiritual aspect to me. However, you don't have to believe the way that I do to come to class. Nobody's cramming that down your throat. In fact, I won't allow that. Yeah. I won't allow anybody to get into a conversation like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I noticed that. Without a doubt, good stuff indeed. We were talking at dinner about I'm supposed to write a book someday. If it ever gets written,
I'll have to buy it.
It'll be called War Stories, a Comedy, because my whole military career, my whole life has been a train wreck. But it's been funny as hell. And I've got. I had talked about the story of me sneaking into North Korea just because I wanted a picture, right? So that's stupid private stuff that privates do. Well, I was a private. But all these stories, they're real events that helped shape who I am. And if it ever gets written, like my patrons, they get all the stories. We do story time with Carl once a month. So they've already heard, they don't even need to buy the book. They've already gotten probably half the stories that are in the book. But there's a chapter in that book that's called Divine Intervention. And because I was raised Roman Catholic, I'm definitely not Roman Catholic. When I got married, my wife, her family here, we went to a Southern Baptist church. I'm definitely not Southern Baptist. All right, definitely not. But I am very Christian, and I have a lot of friends that are atheists, and I'm like, yep, me too. I was for a while. Yep. I was. The church. Okay, I understand that's the right, but I don't care what's right. I'm a 23-year-old immortal infantryman. I don't worry about that stuff. I'm just looking to get laid. I didn't care about anything, and I was an atheist because it was the cool thing because you get it pushed down your throat by everybody that oh, you're religious, you're fucked up, or you're weak in the mind, you're brainwashed. And okay, if you are, that's cool, but I've had so many things happen in combat zones that I'll share, and it's a long chapter, guys, because I've had so many things happen that you're like, that's not dumb luck, that's divine intervention. We had a bunch of mortar rounds come in, and real quick, one of the 20 stories, one of them came, and they came in very fast, very fast. 150 meters away, mortar round blows up. You're like, oh shit, what was that? And then the next one hit at 100 meters, and you're still standing there. You ain't even got shit out of your mouth yet. Oh shit, what was that? And then the next one came in 50 meters away,
wow,
which means the shrapnel, and you're getting ready to cringe. You haven't even had time to fall down yet. The next round came in, and it was a dud. It stuck into the sand.
Wow.
A few meters to our left. The next one came in, was a dud about 10 meters to our right. And then the next one came in 20 meters over live and blew up again 50 meters away.
It just skipped you.
It was a row, and they walked, and it was boom, 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 thud, thud, boom, 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 boom. And
wow,
it was one little sniper team there, and there's no way Abu Shidad in the Iraqi army hanging mortar rounds goes, Abdullah, this one's going to hit them. I will leave the pin in the fuse, yes? There's no way that happened. And that is...
That's crazy.
After a while, and you hear the phrase, it's in all the old World War II movies, there's no atheists in foxholes, and you're like, oh, I could understand, the guys in the foxholes and big World War I artillery barrages. I could understand them praying to anybody to save their life, and that would click, but that still doesn't convert an atheist being told the story. And I'm not trying to convert any of you guys. I'm just saying, please don't think less of me, because I don't care if you do or not. I've had shit happen in my life, and I know God loves me. I think because I was such a good sniper, and I did God's work overseas. I did God's work. Off. Yeah, me and God, we get along. But beyond that, I know He's got other work for me to do in my life, because I should have been dead a few years ago. So I've got more to do. I don't know what it is.
You're good. Yeah, it's amazing what things go on. You can look at it backwards and say to yourself, how did that work that way? If you don't mind, one that I had, again, not near that cool, but this one made sense in my head. I had this one night we had more than 100 rounds get shot in a very small space in the city that I worked, and it was down near the bars, and so it should have struck at least one person, right?
Yeah.
Well, we weren't notified that anybody was struck. Officers respond to it, and I get asked to go and check on a house of a lady that said her son might have been shot, and he just went home, right? So, okay, I should have done what I was trained to do and checked the house as far as the previous history.
Yeah.
I should have just looked in the computer and looked up, what have we done there before? Who lives here?
That this is the perpetrator that...
Yeah.
And I see where this is going.
And I didn't, and I knew better than that, and I didn't have a backup officer at the time. So I'm by myself. All the other officers are downtown dealing with that incident, and I go to this place by myself. I didn't use that sound judgment. I get out. There's not a soul on the street. It's 3 a.m. And I'm going up, and I see these two vehicles sitting in front on the curbside in front of this house. So I go over, take my glove off, and I'm feeling the hood of one of them, see if it's been running. And it's cold. So I go to the next one. I put my hand on the hood, and I'm right in front of the vehicle. Put my hand on the hood. It's cold, too. And about that time, I hear on the window from the inside, and I can't see anybody in it because of the tint and the glare and all that. Mm-hmm. What ended up happening was I ended up drawing my gun, going around, and this guy is sitting in that car with a 5.7 in his lap. And come to find out, he was the brother of one of the most notorious gang members in our city. And so he's a gang member also, but his brother is the one that they thought was shot. He was one of the reasons the shooting happened downtown. And I played that back in my head. Everything worked out fine, but I'm like, Nobody else would have even seen it. Nobody would have even seen this guy shoot me. And he had me dead to rights. I was directly in front of him.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, the round wouldn't have stopped for my vest. I mean, all these different things are going through my head. And so I literally got back in my car and I said to myself, I was like, hey, I appreciate that. Letting me go home to my family one more time.
Oh, good stuff. Good stuff. All right, they sent questions in.
Okay.
All right, so without further ado, asked if Gun Runner will ever be held in Texas. Yeah, I just mentioned Gun Runner Pistol will be held in Texas at Range 35. It's right outside of Dallas, Texas. And it is right before the Patreon course. You do not need to be a patron to attend Gun Runner Pistol. Gun Runner Pistol will be held at Range 35. I owe you the dates. I got them right here. I'll get them for you. I'll get them. Gun Runner Pistol is 21 and 22 October. 21, 22 October at Range 35 in Texas, right off of I-35. You guys, you figured this all out all by yourself. It's a great little range complex. Got an awesome classroom, but the curriculum is just blows me away. It really does. The Gustache 2531. You think his mom had a bunch of kids? Got to actually serial number them?
We had at least one.
Holy shit. That's a joke we do every week. Sir, if I'm attending to a major wound to an appendage, such as a partial or total amputation, there's no blood, do I apply a tourniquet? This is a super easy one that I jump on, but I got you want it or me?
Hit it, man.
All right.
This is your show, brother. I'm just glad.
Here's the deal. Tourniquets. You've heard me say if the guy's still, if he's still conscious, he's gonna want you to take it off because tourniquets hurt. All right, because you've got to basically crush all the soft tissue enough to squish that garden hose, which lies right next to the bone. If you think about a leg, for example. Make a fist, guys. Make a fist so tight that your knuckles turn white. Make that fist. Make it. Go ahead. Do it. Do it right now. Do it with me. All right? No, you, Jerry J in the back. Move. Erica, move. Jerry J, make a fist. Now, you make that fist so tight that your knuckles turn white. All right? How you doing it? You're tensing all those muscles in your forearm. Hold that for 20 minutes. Hold that knuckle. See how he already let his go?
Oh, I was just quitting on you.
You can't. You can't keep it tight for that long. What ends up happening is, let's say a grenade or something goes off, a landmine, a car wreck, traumatic amputation. If I hit your ankle with an axe, right, and completely take off that foot, a lot of times what happens, think about how strong a lot of those muscles are in your leg. They immediately contract. They all contract. If you hold out your hand and I stick you in a hand with my pocket knife, you immediately pull back. It does not bleed real bad because everything's tight. Everything's tight. And guys have died on the battlefield because they'll have a through and through, and they treat that. The lower leg's been completely blown off, but it wasn't bleeding. Yep. So they put him on a litter, load him on the helicopter, the medevac bird, and space blanket over top of him, right? Hypothermia, right? RH in the in March. Well, the PJ on the helicopter, he's checking everything and vital signs, and it's the reason why our litters are now mesh instead of the old canvas. A lot of people don't know why we switched to a mesh litter, and it's to let the blood seep through, because they were taking canvas litters off of helicopters. When that space blanket would come off, there would be the whole bottom of the litter would be holding a gallon of blood, right? And that's a lot of units of blood, guys. And the reason why is all those muscles in that partial or that full traumatic amputation contracted, and it slowed down that blood to a trickle, or you wouldn't even see it at all, because it's going into the sand right underneath the wound, and you forget about it because you didn't see anything squirting. Yep. Those muscles can only stay tight for so long. Now, this is me sharing again little vignettes, and that's why you guys come here. Any traumatic amputation at all, any amputation, I don't care if it's not bleeding, I don't care if it's not, because it already hurts the guy. He's already screaming, wanting you to take that traumatic amputation off. Make it stop. Right? You go a little bit above it. Some people, they teach go high and tight. I got that. But for traumatic amputation, go 4 inches above it to make sure you're not missing anything, right? Because it's going to be jagged at the end. Get above all the jagged hamburger and put it on as tight as you think it would need to be if the shit was squirting. All right, and you just saved that person's life. Excellent question. Yep. Anything you want to add to it?
No, I guess the only thing that assumption that the body's going to bleed no matter what. I've had some questions on that in class, and I've watched a guy. I rendered aid to him. He was shot from behind. And it was low velocity, so it wasn't amputation or nothing, but he was shot from behind 4 times, so 4 different impact points on the backside of him. And 4 hours later, we ended up taking him to the hospital because his body did not sustain enough damage. Took him from the hospital to the jail. Didn't sustain enough damage to warrant being in the hospital any longer. So that tells me one thing about how bad handguns are at killing people. Yeah. But at least 2 of his impact points weren't bleeding at all. So I found that same thing kind of be interesting. When I'm looking at it at the time on the street, when I'm under stress, I'm like, where's the blood I ought to be seeing? Yeah. And it just ain't there. Or you've maybe got compartmentalized bleeding and it's pooling under the skin. Yeah. Well, it's not on the ground. Where's all the blood? Yeah. Well, yeah, it's still killing him. It's just not where it should be.
You're still losing it.
Exactly.
It's the ski patrols. They see it a lot when somebody wrecks skiing, or a lot of motor vehicle accidents, helicopter accidents, parachute accidents is where I've seen it, is guys that'll fracture a femur. That bone doesn't break flat. A lot of times it breaks jagged, and then those bones go like this, and that vessel is now zigzagging. They end up cutting it, and you'll see bruising start. And I was actually taught, if there's bruising, circle it with your magic marker. And if it starts getting bigger at all, your Green Berets are not small guys. You can lose, I forgot how many units of blood inside a thigh. I want to say it's like 7 units of blood. Guys, you are uncompensated shock at that point. So basically I'm saying you can bleed out by fracturing a femur, and your femur swells up, all the blood's going in there. The blood's inside the body, but it's not inside your bloodstream. Yep. And you can bleed out. You can bleed out. Good question, man. Yeah. And I know we got a bunch. I'm sorry, guys, I'm slow. Annalise and Kyle Beela threw down $10. If your rifle is zeroed with 5.56, how substantial will the point of impact difference be when shooting 223 at 50 to 100 yards? Honest, I can't really tell you that because again, it depends on the weight of the ammo. What did you zero it with? And I understand if you take 2 the same, 55 grain 5.56. And 55 grain 223, right? The only difference is, think of 223 as you're throwing a hot dog down the hallway, and don't understand, it's touching, it's just not as tight in the lands and grooves. It's not locking up, and that's why you can shoot 223 and 5.56 in a 5.56 gun, but you shouldn't shoot 5.56 in a 223 gun. I've done it because that's all that we had. It damages the gun? No, it did not blow up in my face. Is it bad for the gun? Yes. Is 5.56 ammo gonna be better? The real difference is one is rated for higher chamber pressures. The only way for me to tell you, Annalise, and Kyle's probably, that sounds like a Kyle question, because Annalise just wants to know what pretty color the rifle is. I'm poking her with a stick. She's awesome. She goes by Kentucky Fried Korean on Instagram.
Oh, I like that.
No, honestly, Kyle, the best way is literally go out and shoot 2 groups with your ammo. Because I'm like you, I buy cheap 223 ammo for training. That's what all the 5.5. I take that back. I'm using 5.56 ammo this week in class. But a lot of times, if I'm just doing up drills, zipper drills, and stuff inside 10 meters, I'm running 223. But if that's what's in my mags when we're doing the 100-meter stuff, I don't have problem. Observe splash. If you got to hold a couple inches high, it will serve you well.
You mind if I answer one I can see right here?
Go ahead.
They gave you about $50 for this question.
That's James Swain. That's my uncle down in Texas.
There you go.
Go ahead, read it off for me.
Yeah, so we got, but what do we do about wounds to the abdomen, like below the plate carrier? All right, so you got like your gut region, right? Maybe your belly button and lower. That's a really dangerous area, and I love your take because you're going to be more knowledgeable on this. But that's a really dangerous area that you can't do a lot for other than cover it. If, let's say it's something worse, like again, a lot of the guys overseas right now are dealing with shrapnel just ripping them apart. And if that were to happen and you got intestines coming out, something of that nature, you don't just go shoving everything back either. Trying to keep things in place is difficult with that. Also keep in mind, you're not going to survive everything. We're all going to die one day, but at least in my knowledge, and I'll get your take, is you're going to cover that maybe with some sort of a trauma bandage. There's several companies making larger surface area coverage bandages for those areas to retain more area. And beyond that, you need to get them to the hospital. What do you got?
That's the most important part. Get them because it's above your level of care.
Yes.
And here's why. You guys understand way the food, right? Emery's a big fan of food. Food comes down. You got that stomach, right? But then the small intestine runs around the middle, and then you've got ascending colon, transverse colon, descending colon, sigmoid colon, and then what you guys call that glorious starfish at the bottom that tastes like the copper penny. Yeah, you guys are looking around like, how does he know I know that? Because you guys tell me this stuff. I know. Anyway, every inch of that intestine, that's all live tissue. It has to be fed. It has to be fed blood. All right, so you have what's called your mesenteric artery that basically follows that railroad track and goes all the way around. The reason why I'm saying that is if it's below the diaphragm, and that's all plumbing, part of your digestive tract. A bullet may pass right through, push shit out of the way, go completely out the back. It might clip a kidney. I understand it might clip some liver. Might clip this, might clip that. There's so many organs in there. Yep. And you're not going to die from them right away. Yep. But almost all of them, a bleeder to the liver, a bleeder to the pancreas, bleeder to kidneys, bleeder to that mesenteric artery. Yep. You will die from them. And that's why, historically speaking, we use what's called the golden hour. When that injury happens, if you can get them to a thoracic and abdominal surgeon within 60 minutes, they will. What they're going to do is they're going to unzip them. That's the term that they use. Unzip him. A lot of times, while the surgeon is scrubbing in, he'll tell somebody else that unzip him. I'm scrubbing. They will literally open up the entire abdominal, and they have to trace that digestive tract. They say foot by foot, but they are checking each inch and they're following those arteries because even a small artery and vein back inside will bleed a lot. Yep. I have a friend, Rick Frazier. He caught shrapnel from a grenade. It was a hit in the jaw. The reason why that picture was taken, I brought my snipers down there the same day Captain Tarlowski got shot in the forehead. The same 3 seconds before that, the grenade went off, and the captain, they stood him up. He's like, I'm fine, get off me. That's when he got shot through the forehead. But Rick Frazier had shrapnel come up right under his plate, just like you're talking about, James, and it lacerated his liver. And same thing. The medic there, the 18 Delta there, knew your basic choice is unzip him, which you shouldn't do in the field, especially not when you got a mass casualty. Yep. Get him out of here, get him out of here right now. And Rick Frazier, he was on that Nightingale bird back to Germany. He was well taken care of. Abdominal, all right? The part that people miss. And understand when you're wearing body armor, body armor is more to convince assaulters like Emery and me and Byron Russell that they're immortal. Yep. Body armor does not stop bullets. And what I mean by that is those plates are so small that it's a mental game. Whenever I put on my body armor, I am immortal. Yep. And what I mean by I've never been shot wearing body armor. Okay. But it covers very little. Your pelvic girdle below your beer gut here, besides you having part of that plumbing in there and your bladder, there's a lot of units that will teach if the guy's wearing body armor and you're not getting the effect you want to shoot them then in the pelvic girdle. And the reason for that, your blood cells are born in your bone marrow, and your pelvic girdle is very vascular. You know, you've got more bone marrow in your femurs and a couple other bones, but the pelvic girdle, it looks like a flat bone, but it is hollow. It's got a lot of bone marrow in it. And a bullet hitting it, no matter where you shoot it, it's shattering it. It does not take well to gunfire at all. And the reason why it's a good target is if you go back to the 90s, they had that shootout at the bank in LA. They're shooting them in the chest, and then they had body armor, so they started shooting for the head. They're missing the head. If you shoot a guy in the pelvis, you immediately take away his mobility. He can't leave the battlefield anymore. He can't run away. So it's a hard wound to treat, James. Get him to a higher echelon of care, number one. And then number two, Twitch hit on it when he said not everybody survives. Yep. If you take 10 casualties on a battlefield, 4 of them, these 4 right here, they're going to live whether they get real medical care or not. Just self-aid and their buddy taking care of them. 2 are probably going to die no matter what level of care you have there. It's these other ones right here, these other 4 that will die if they do not get good medical care. And we think, well, you know, that's 4 out of 10. Maybe medical training isn't that important. Guys, those could be your family members. Yep. All right. Yep. If I can save 1 person out of 10, every medical class I ever took was worth it. Good question, James.
Brother, I think I'm going to hop out of your way.
You out?
I think I'm going to be. I'm going to give way to a better
I got
man.
one more for you here. I got one more for you. This is from Kuvadis, 10 Bones. Love you, Twitch, in a manly sort of way.
Well,
okay. I'm glad I got a chance to share that with you.
Thank you so much.
Before you left. All right, one more time. What's the name of your website?
Sure, saveonemore.life. And what you just said at the end there is literally what my mind is all about. That's the entire reason that we started this, because I care about the one more life. Like you said, if we can delay death and by that time for somebody to get to the hospital, guys, that's the whole objective of what I'm trying to do here. And trying to teach as many people as possible so that we can make it like a righteous infection in the world. Go out, teach more people and more people. So, saveonemore.life. I really hope to see you guys soon. I can't thank you enough for being here.
Dude. You got a patch wall at home?
Heck yeah.
Brand new tactical rifleman patch. There's no writing on it because I'm not giving this away because I want you to promote my shit. I'm giving it to you because I've only given 2 of these away. One's Emery. You're the second one.
Thank you so much.
Congrats, man. Hey, thanks for everything you do. Guys, this is a, you guys hear me say I'm doing this because I'm trying to make the world a better place. This is a guy who's trying to make the world a better place.
I appreciate
Twitch, thanks for everything you do, man.
See you soon.
Safe travels back home.
Yeah, brother.
Safe travels. All right, guys, I'm bringing Emery in here in a minute. I see he's out there. I just gave Emery his patch today. And if you want one of those patches, I ain't giving you one. I'm just being honest. The only way you can get that patch is you've got to go to nutrientsurvival.com and buy my Tactical Rifleman bucket of food. Ain't that sexy, guys? Look at that, right? Anyways, it comes with that patch and a cool TR sticker, but it also comes with all of my favorite Nutrient Survival food in there. Where do you go to get that again? nutrientsurvival.com. If you go to tacticalrifleman.com and click on if you go to Companies We Love, then you click on Nutrient Survival there. I get credit for you going, which would be cool. But I just wanted, those are buckets for me and my son. Because we're like, they don't sell, they got the Alaskan survivalist guy and they got this guy and they all have their buckets that they sell. And I was like, I don't like that flavor. I like all these, but that one, I don't really like that flavor. So we're like, let's make a flavor we like, a batch. So it's got all the ones that I like, and this is preparedness month, so that's why my wife's freeze dryer, our Harvest Right freeze dryer, we're wearing the buttons off the front of that. Yours too, man. You've got a Harvest Right at your house.
Oh, yeah,
Janelle
awesome.
runs that thing.
I finally used it for what it's supposed to be used for this last week.
Which was what?
Well, I was out in the jungle, and I knew I was going to be out in the jungle.
Oh yeah, talking about using the food. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell
So
about it. Sure,
I freeze dried a bunch of food. Well, I cooked it first. I cooked a whole turkey, and then we did some chili and some mac and cheese and various other stuff, and then I freeze dried them and took them to the field, and it was awesome.
And it was awesome, wasn't it? A lot of people go like, I don't like freeze dried food.
It's food.
Here's the deal, guys. When you've got to carry your water up the mountain in Afghanistan, when you got to carry your food up the mountain in Afghanistan, you ever climb a mountain? One, nobody ever does it in the dark. Two, they don't do it carrying an SR-25, 10 magazines, a spotting scope, a SATCOM radio, a SATCOM antenna, 6 days worth of batteries, 6 days worth of food, 6 days worth of water. When any place I can cut weight, even a couple of ounces, we actually got the military to buy us, thank you taxpayers, to buy us Glock e-tools, folding shovels, because they were 9 ounces lighter than a regular Army e-tool.
Makes
if I
a
can
difference.
shave 9 ounces,
I'll cut half the handle off my toothbrush.
yeah, I'm not quite that desperate, but
If I bring one.
no, I always carried my the one from the cleaning kit because it's double-ended.
Yep.
And oh shit, dude, break free, rinse it in water, and that works on the teeth, dude.
Well, here's another cool thing about freeze drying,
I love freeze dried
especially if you're freeze drying your own food.
Yeah.
So even if it's something like turkey, right? What you have is the ability to, because you put it in a Mylar bag, right, and then you seal it and you put your little oxygen absorbers and whatnot in there. So all you have to do is boil up some water on your jet boil, pour it into the bag, seal it off, let it sit for 5-10 minutes, and you got kind of like fresh meat.
Yeah,
but
as opposed to just MRE chow.
Yeah, but you pull that bag out, rip it open, you can eat that as long as you got some water.
Dehydrated, yeah.
Yeah, and look, I mean, it's not
the
best.
I actually like the apples better dehydrated.
Oh, yeah.
Than we got the fruit tree orchard in the backyard, and if any of y'all need apples, I have picked so many apples. I bet we've got. If I got 3,000 apples, I got 12,000 apples left. I'm not exaggerating. I've still got 20 trees left with apples on them, and 2 of the trees are still green, so they're not going to be ready for a couple of weeks. Some of them are starting to go out. I got 3 pear trees that aren't ripe yet, but freeze dried apples. You slice them, you cut all the worms out and everything. You freeze dry. They're not store bought apples, guys.
The only thing better than freeze drying those apples is peaches.
Peaches,
yeah, but I think having the ability to freeze dry your own food is huge. You know, if you're looking at it, right, what does a turkey cost? You go around Thanksgiving, you buy yourself 5-6 turkeys at the discount or right after Thanksgiving, stick them in the freezer, and then you can cook them up whenever you want. And then literally I just took it apart and then took chunks and freeze dried them. It was awesome. And if you do it that way, you are saving an enormous amount of money, right? The Mountain House meals, that a lot of which taste good, I'm not paying $12, $13, $14 a meal. I just can't do that for,
not on Emery's budget.
No,
because I don't pay him worth of shit. Guys. I try to do you right.
We're pretty fair.
I got JT. I got my Uncle James question. We talked about abdominal gunshot wounds. I had another one come in from Mike Quigley. Mike Quigley threw down $50 and didn't even ask a question.
What's up, Quigley?
Mike,
how you doing, brother?
Mike, again, another patron, and he attends our classes and stuff.
Yeah, Mike's awesome.
That big bottle of wine.
Oh, I know. I know. Yeah.
Mike,
Quigley
you're good
always hooks it
people,
up.
and he threw the money down. Mike is actually working with his employer which is not what they do. But they're actually trying to do a local thing, nonprofit, to deal with the human trafficking in Knoxville, Alabama.
That's awesome.
I got Mike hooked up with Refuge Medical, and Mike Quigley, if you're still on, if you need other resources that they can't get you, I'll get you in contact with Craig Sawyer. A lot of people know him as Sawman on the internet. He's a Navy SEAL. He went on to work CIA, everything else, but he was a Navy SEAL from Desert Storm time frame. But he was one of the SEALs I competed against in the Maximum Warrior competition when I won my Jeep 100 years ago, 2010. But Craig Sawyer has basically dedicated his life to fighting human trafficking. And he's all over the internet. If you guys don't already follow him, you can put in Craig Sawman Sawyer, and his nonprofit will show up. He's on every news channel, and I know you guys have seen Craig, but Craig is good people, and he will help you out. Mike also, he will. Dropping my name won't hurt you. It may not help you a lot. Because he wanted that Jeep really bad. I'm joking. He actually got bumped. He made it to third place. And the only reason why he probably didn't beat me was the Delta guy went first, I went second, and then Craig shot last, and the sun was right at the top of the berm and was right in his eyes. And anyways, everybody has an excuse.
I'm seeing a couple things here.
We got people you want to jibber jabber with?
Well, Ace, Juan Robles says, Emery, get together with Randy and do some more knife videos, fighting knives. Roger that, no problem, we'll do it.
All right, I got one here real quick. Ghost Enemy wants to know where we can get Twitch's shirt. He made those for him and his instructors. Honest, attend one of his classes and ask him there. Reach out to him. Honest, go to his website and reach out to the guy. And
dude, he's a super nice guy.
Super nice guy. Twitch is good people.
Yeah, all those people are
real good people. All right. All right. So we're caught up. All right, while we're caught up, because that would be an awesome thing. All right. I sincerely, this is Preparedness Month, and if you go to nutrientsurvival.com, they're doing like a giveaway of survival gear. If you're the winner, they're giving away like $4,000 worth of survival gear. One of the things they're giving away is a certificate for any 2-day tactical rifleman class you want. That's not a bad deal.
That's not a bad deal.
$750 value right there.
Bucks.
Man, I'd like to attend one of my classes. That would be so freaking cool.
That's always our complaint. Right. We're always like,
we want to take
God
our
damn
class
it, I hate this.
Before we have to teach it. Emery was out. I noticed you put on a clean shirt.
I got a little sweaty
when we went to dinner, because Emery was supposed to go to dinner, I drove by the range with my wife, and we're like, hey, Emery, jump in. We're going to go to dinner. And he's like, I ain't going to. No, I'm staying here. I'm like, why? And the reason why is tomorrow we start teaching, and we'll have other instructors there. Randy Worth will be there. Wick will be there. We've got other instructors that are going to be there. But we're usually the ones that demonstrate the drills. And we can make the student time standard, but we have our own instructor standard, and it seemed so easy when we wrote them down. But Emery was like, I've got it on these 3 tests. I got this other one. I only make it about 50% of the time. Mind you, he's already good enough to teach tomorrow. He is. But Emery won't lower his personal standard, and it was beating him up, which I thought was funny as shit. Because he's soaking wet. He's probably pissed away $300 worth of ammo.
Oh, yeah.
And
the thing is about what we do, right? A lot of this is ingrained, right? I cannot shoot for a year, pick up a gun, and be okay.
Okay.
but I can't not shoot for a year, pick up a gun, and pass all the standards,
Yeah.
right? That's one of those things where if you're not super current with these drills on these times, with this gear, you change gun, your times are going to change.
Yep. Change gear.
So, and for us, we don't get to shoot as much as we should be shooting because we have to pay for ammo. And then there's the time factor, right? I go to the jungle for a week and a half.
How was that? Did you have fun?
Oh my God, that was one of the coolest experiences ever.
He went to go do jungle survival, which used to be down in Panama, a
And
total
tracking and
shithole.
combat, Yeah.
He got to go do jungle survival school and tracking in Hawaii, in freaking Hawaii. Who does that? And he didn't have to go as a student. He got to go as one of the instructors, tag along. Hey, learn it as you go. Right?
Here, just so you see how horrible it was.
Yeah, that totally sucked, man.
Horrible. That's from the bedroom window. That was the last day. We did sleep in the jungle.
That's
So it's
cool. That's cool.
so the Army has moved its jungle warfare school to Hawaii. The official Army, it's called the Lightning Academy, and that's where this course happens. And so I have been, I'm lucky enough to have been invited by the guys at TTOS to come join and learn how to teach that with them. And so I'll start teaching it with them. And but first I have to learn it.
Yeah. I see you wearing Steve's shirt.
I stole it from Steve. I thought it looked better on me.
Guys, Steve Holland is watching the live stream. You know, we usually have Steve here, but Steve has an hour drive. So I already had 2 guests. You know, if I don't give Steve enough Steve time, I feel as though I've wasted his time. So I asked Steve to take a break. Steve, I know they miss you almost as much as I do, but he says he's enjoying the show. I think it's awesome that everybody that sits in that chair wears that same shirt. That tells me I need to make more of those shirts. So
I mean, first of all, this is my second favorite shirt that we've made.
yeah,
and the second part of that, it was on the top of the pile in my bag. So
well, that was
so there's that. That's usually how I get dressed. Is
this
whatever's
one
on top.
is.
Oh, that's old. Oh no, that's not
4
that old.
years old, but it's still pretty old. It's if you look at it real close, like it's got break free, and you see how it's faded up on the shoulders because it's been washed so many times. But it was on the top of the stack. I'm saving my good shirts for the next 5 days of classes. Now, for my patrons coming to Patreon last week of October. That is the front and the color of Patreon shirts this year. The back of it will say Patreon 2023 Tactical Rifleman. But that's the shirt we're doing this year. Black on black. It's sexy. That's a sexy shirt.
It's a sexy shirt. And it feels nice.
It feels so nice. It doesn't make your nipples stick out as much as mine, but
no, that's because mine aren't pierced.
I don't need pierced nipples. I definitely do not.
What was it? Somebody else said something. Somebody said something up here. Anyway, I don't know, but I'm seeing another one from Donut Eater about centipedes. Did I run into any centipedes? Yes. I didn't get hit by centipedes, but actually, surprisingly...
They're like this long.
Yeah, they're ugly motherfuckers.
Monsters.
Where we ran into centipedes more than anywhere this time was actually when we were swimming through the rivers. We were doing the floats, and you're most of the time walking because the rivers were kind of low, and there were some on little sticks floating on the water.
No shit.
Yeah. We're going down. It was totally like Vietnam, right? And half the guys had their weapons up. It's like, dude, just let it get wet. It's gonna get wet.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're slipping by all kinds of junk, and there were some centipedes down the river.
Nice. No snakes in Hawaii.
No snakes, which is why I'm all about teaching Hawaii anytime. That and girls in bikinis are not horrible. I'm just saying.
Steve says, how about a biscuit tactical shirt?
Oh, biscuit like my dog?
Yeah, biscuit like your dog.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, we can get your dog.
We'll do a Bubba shirt.
We'll do a Bubba shirt.
The tactical Bubba.
Yeah, Patreon class is going to be awesome. Steve Holland's coming. He is. He's going to ride down there with Randy Wurst. Me and Emery are going down early with my wife. My wife's going to ride with us. We got to bring the TR trailer, and we are running, again, this course is open to everybody. Gun Runner Pistol, 21-22 of October. Again, that's a Saturday and Sunday. You can sign up at tacticalrifleman.com. And everybody that has attended that class, that's Emery's class. I'm going as his assistant instructor. But if you want to master the pistol, again, we're not doing running and gunning and up drills and failure drills and what part of the body to hit. No, it's mastering how to shoot the pistol. Stance, grip, all that.
I think this one's a rifle, isn't it? I think this
one coming up in
one.
September. I'm talking about October.
Gotcha.
The October Gun Runner Pistol is in Texas at range 35. And then we have 1 day off. And then we roll into the 4-day Patreon course. If you want Gun Runner Carbine, that is held here in Tennessee at the Montgomery County Shooting Complex. That is not this weekend. It's the following weekend, 2-day course, Saturday, Sunday. And it's going to be ugly. Going to be, I talked to all the students that went to the last one, and they're like, hands down, best carbine course I've ever done in my life. And I'm like, but you attended 2 of mine. But they're like, yeah, Carl, but yours is different.
Hey, Big Fezzig's asking if there's I think that's who said that. It scrolled by. If there's a Sioux update.
Yeah,
so
actually.
let me give a bit of a Sioux update.
Okay, while he's doing that, I'm going to pull up the Sioux picture.
So Sioux's not doing terribly hot.
Sioux didn't answer me back today either.
Yeah, I called him yesterday. He didn't pick up. But I did talk to him a couple days ago. There's that ugly
That's
bastard.
what I got from him. All right. I want you guys to look at the haircut. Look at the haircut. You see the haircut? Why would you shave both sides of your head? Well, because the doctor shaved one side of your head. Sioux had his melon drilled. I'm not joking. He said, I am awake and the pain level is finally bearable.
Yeah.
Guys, that was Saturday. I haven't heard from Sioux since Saturday, so keep him in your prayers. You talked to him what day?
I think it was Saturday as well, but yeah, Sioux's, he's coming off of a pretty hardcore bunch of procedures on top of
having 12 diseases.
Yeah, whatever the stuff he has. Yeah, so it's a little rough. I'm keeping tabs with his wife, Robbie, who is an absolute angel.
When was the last time you talked to her?
I talked to her, I believe, yesterday, I want to say.
What did she say?
Well, it would have been Saturday because I was flying all day yesterday. So he's doing okay. I mean, for all things considered, he just had his head opened up. So somebody's saying, hey, Dale, Emery, how is it jungle survival training without any snakes in Hawaii? From someone that learned it in the jungles of the Philippines back in the 70s. Well, so yes, there are no snakes, but understand that this is not just a jungle survival course. It's not, hey, let's go camping in the jungle and see if that can be tough. Yeah. We're doing actual tactics. There's tracking. There's all kinds of IADs, right? So immediate action drills, react to contact. There's some land nav stuff. There's there's a whole bunch of stuff. There's a lot of rope work, rappelling, climbing, and then the main thing is tracking. So, other jungles. This is what they call a white belt jungle, and it is because it's all things considered a little more comfortable. But what you need to get out of this training, you get there. Yeah. You get very dense brush. You get a lot of different kinds of vegetation.
Tell about all the different kinds of fruit.
Oh yeah,
I never got that.
Yeah, this to me,
I never got that at all. That's freaking bullshit.
This to me was the coolest thing ever. I'm not a very knowledgeable guy in fruit, plants and all that. I know a little bit, but here in Hawaii. Man, everywhere. This entire forest is completely full of what they call strawberry guavas. And
the little red guavas.
yeah, and they're it's like it's a little red thing. It's probably twice the size of a cherry.
Okay.
And oh, they are just so incredibly good. I mean, just
But
anywhere
you
as
still
you're
like
walking.
guavas also.
And there are actual guavas. We got some guavas. We got some passion fruit. And there are avocado trees there too. Naturally, I didn't find any this trip, but yeah. So it's it's not like you're having a meal, but one of the things in survival is you eat when you can. And when you have fruit all over the place, and as you're walking, you can just kind of pick one here and one there. Man, does it change your mood? It really changes your mood for the better.
Steve Holland sent a couple pictures. What this is, guys, is this is a picture of
The 101st.
the 101st on D-Day, getting ready to do their jump. They were basically told none of them were coming home. This was a suicide mission. So a lot of them got a little cavalier. They shaved their heads like they were Mohawk, the term Mohawk Indians, and they put on war paint, and they knew they were going to go fight to the death against the Germans. And so that's what Sue looks like right now. Is he's got a Mohawk going on. Funny, Steve, that you should mention that. Last night, I actually went to go sign up. For me, they finally released the dates for the jumps for the 80th anniversary of the D-Day invasion in Normandy, France. And the 75th anniversary was a huge party and demonstrations and everything. Well, the 80th is the same way. They are doing a big air show. They're going to have 24 airplanes, all C-47s, that are each going to be carrying paratroopers, and they're going to have one B-17 and a bunch of P-51 Mustangs flying top cover, and they're doing 6 jumps over, I want to say, like 7 days. And people reached out to me 4 or 5 days ago and they're like, hey, Carl, you better sign up. I had to wait for Emery to get out of the jungle to find out which ones he wanted to do. So me and my son, we were ready. So as soon as I got back from the airport, literally as soon as we got back, I went and got on the computer and I went to the correct website and it says, this jump sold out. This jump sold out.
Really?
This jump sold out. Every jump is already sold out. So, of course, I immediately got poo-poo face, right? And so I start texting Round Canopy Parachute Team down in Palatka, Florida. Well, first I text Rick Lamb, Sergeant Major Lamb, because he's planning on jumping with us. It's going to be the 4 of us. 5 of us if you count Leif LeBlanc, but he signed up in time. Mm-hmm. We reached out to Bill Markham down at Round Canopy Parachute Team, and he said, relax, Carl. They will be opening up other lifts. You'll get to jump. If you want to jump, we will get your guys on a plane. You will jump. So, because you understand, the only reason why I put my son through airborne school was so that we could jump into Normandy at the 80th. So the plan... and we're going to film it. We're going to 360 cameras and GoPros, a whole 9 yards. Next June, there will not be any tactical rifleman classes. The last week of May, and then the first week and a half of June. But the plan is for me to bring my wife. I think my son wants to bring his girlfriend. Mm-hmm. Emery's not allowed because he's planning on hooking up with, I think, half of France, right?
The female
half of France. He's planning on hooking up with the female half of France. But that's why I'm bringing my wife. I'm joking, honey. You know I'm joking. But we're going to go and represent. So we'll film it. You guys get to watch it after the fact. And hopefully we don't break a leg or anything. But or blow a knee out.
Yeah, I am so excited about this. It's gonna be a ball.
We got Leif LeBlanc says he's going. Donna.
Yeah.
Donna from Round Canopy Parachute. She reached out to me and she said she is parachuting.
Nice.
She already signed up for all 6 jumps. It's gonna be a great time. So if you guys, what I'm saying is, if it's not too late for me to sign up, but it's also not too late for you guys to sign up. If you would like to jump with us into Normandy, first thing you got to do is you got to go to roundcanopyparachuteteam-usa.org. Sign up for Airborne School. It's not that much money. Go through Airborne School, and they're doing it last week of October, and then we're doing it again in March. I'm actually Airborne Commander in March. We'll put you through, and then you can sign up, and you guys can go with us, and we can go parachute into Normandy, France. It's the only week that the French like Americans. It's the only week that the French like Americans.
You know, honestly,
which is good, because that goes two ways. It really does. Casey, you coming in to visit?
I was just coming to say hi.
Yeah, come say hi.
I hear the.
Come say hi. Sit down.
No. You gotta stay here. I gotta be in here with you.
Yeah,
though.
you
I get to sit. You're gonna
do
sit
your
on my
thing.
lap.
Do your thing. Yes.
You're gonna sit on my lap.
Sure.
Well, this is
All
gonna
right,
be
guys,
fun.
I got another guest, Casey Belts. You guys might remember Casey. Thank you for driving in all the
You
way
bet.
for this.
You bet.
Casey's my best friend. He was never in the military.
Never.
But he's a big supporter of snipers, the military, Navy SEAL Foundation.
Yeah.
But at the top of the list is America, and then above that, God. But me and Casey, we met at SHOT Show one year, and we just became good buddies. And I consider him my best friend. Which, I mean, there's only 3 people on that list, anyways, and one of them's dead already. But it's you, Boo Boo, who's dead, and my wife. Emery's an acquaintance, but yeah, I consider you good. Casey's on his way to SEAL Sniper School for their final shooting test, I guess.
Whatever they're doing.
He always goes out to provide them with
AccuShot one-shot
support.
challenge.
The AccuShot one-shot challenge, which is
Yeah.
it's a playing card
Ace of
sticker,
spades.
Ace of Spades, but
Yep.
it's a sticker. You peel it and you stick it on the target. And at what distance they shooting this?
Whatever
year?
they want, whatever they decide, they get to set it up, and
Could
each
be
student
50
shoots
meters,
one.
could be 300
Yep.
meters,
Yep.
closest
Cold
to
bore.
the center, cold
Yep.
bore, single
Yep.
shot.
Yep.
I did something like that at the ITRC, International Tactical Rifleman's Championship. It's called the egg shoot. And it was
think
a
I've
piece
heard
of
of that.
paper, a white egg, and the whole rest of the paper was all black. So that's a lot of printer ink wasted, by the way. But it was at 500 yards. 500 yards, you get one bullet. So they hold up my target at the award ceremony. They're like, "Where is Master Sergeant Erickson?" And I was like, he's holding it up, and there's the egg, and my bullet just missed the egg. So they bring me up front, and they're like, "Congratulations, you are the closest miss of the egg. Now go sit down." And then they call up this civilian competition shooter. He hit just inside the edge, and he got the free rifle.
Nice.
I want to say it was the Accuracy International sniper rifle. You know what I got? I got to go sit down.
You got to sit down.
I got to
You
go
got the
sit
chair.
down.
That's sweet.
Oh, I think
That's
it's
funny.
Casey. So Casey always supports everybody. So if you order an Atlas bipod and they say, hey, sorry, we're running a little late, it's because they probably just got a big order in for the military, and he prioritizes people, and I agree with that. Yeah, you're good
Times.
people, dude. Good
Yeah, we
times,
just
dude.
found out tonight. It's kind of funny that you mentioned that you went to the very first USASOC.
Yeah,
right?
USASOC sniper. Yeah, I took
And
4th place. Yeah.
yeah, and that was we were invited to go to that by Mark and Curtis.
Yep.
That owned Spartan Blades, and
At the time, they were instructors
Yeah.
at SODIC
Yeah.
before it became the Special Forces Sniper School. Back then, it was Special Operations Target Interdiction Course, because it's not polite to say that you shoot people in the
Yeah.
face from a mile. So you interdict targets, interdict.
Yeah.
Interdict.
But anyhow, it was interesting that tonight
Yeah.
we found out.
And I didn't know you there. I didn't know he was there.
Yeah, I was there. I got the coin.
Yep.
And somebody was talking about, the first one, and I went, dug through the coins. There it is. And I asked Mark about it. I said, so this is the first year? He said, oh, yeah, those are kind of special.
That's
And I didn't
cool.
know that you were there.
I did not know.
Yeah,
So the
that's funny.
second year, by then I knew Casey, and those instructors had seen, they'd heard about a after-action review I had written from my A teams doing sniper ops in the Jaff, where that's my A team in the Jaff. That's Jeffrey Fryer. He was my partner. We competed in that sniper competition together, and his gun was broken. We didn't realize it till the second day of the competition. So we started catching up. We went from 8th place. We worked our way up to 4th. But you had Robbie from.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about? He was at
Johnson.
AMU. Robbie Johnson.
Yeah.
He took first place. He's from ANU. But he had also just gone through SODIC, so he knew all the places to hide on the stocks.
Oh, advantage.
Yeah,
Home
right.
team.
No, I treated it like an op. But
Right.
we were the only team shooting SR-25s. Everybody else was running bolt guns.
Sure.
Anyways, they brought me back the second year to be a guest speaker, not in front of all the vendors, but just in front of the active duty students to brief that AAR. And I snuck Casey in. He sat in the back of the room because he wanted to listen in. I'm like, just sit in the back of the room, and if somebody looks at you, act like you're angry, they'll think you're CIA. They'll think you're a contractor. So Casey got to sit through the classified briefing, and kind of cool.
Is there a statute of limitations?
Casey is the guy. So
Careful.
when the towers first fell, I'm packing up all my stuff to go to Afghanistan. I'm going through pictures, I've got all these pictures. That's me free falling. I guess I'm falling like that. But I've got all these pictures laying around everywhere. I'm going through a stack of them, and there's a picture where I took my family, my wife's family, to New England to meet my family. But we stopped in New York City, and I brought them to Liberty Park, and it's in New Jersey, by the way. And you look at the back of the Statue of Liberty, and I have a picture from my little Winder camera of my brother-in-law and my father-in-law, and over their shoulder are the Twin Towers, the World Trade Center. And I looked at that picture, and I was like, I'm never going to be able to bring my daughter back here to show her that. And my flip-up scope cap, if I had a flip-up scope here, I'd show you. You got the back flip-up scope cap. Well, a lot of snipers would run their data. You print it on a little piece of paper and you stick it there for your holdover. I already knew my holdovers. I'd memorized them like 10 years earlier. So I cut out a picture of the World Trade Center and I put it in that scope cap. And I told Casey about it, and he thought that was cool.
It is.
He asked me, he's like, hey, can you find that negative? Because I want to sell those. I'm like, what do you mean I want to sell those? Like, yeah, I want to sell. And he printed them, die cut them, so you could put them in scope caps. And I like that's kind of cool. That is. I know. How many did you sell? 3?
Yeah, I think 6. No, you actually gave me that picture also. That poster. Sue LaRue had that little whatever that like that flyer you guys dropped or whatever it was
with Sue LaRue. I put Sue LaRue's picture on a leaflet I dropped over Fallujah.
Yeah.
Casey's got. I flew an American flag for you over there.
Yep. Much appreciated. But no, I think it's really cool. I mean, it's just history and
history.
Yeah. And here we are. What is it? 22 years later.
Man, we're getting old, brother.
22 years later.
Getting old.
Generations are coming up that weren't alive then.
But you looked like that 22 years ago. You went gray in high school. He's looked like that for 22 years. I'm catching up to him.
Yeah.
If my beard, my mustache comes in gray now. I'm like, I can't grow a Leonidas beard like Emery because I'd look like Rip Van Winkle, not Leonidas. So I'm catching up with Casey.
Yeah.
Catching up with you.
Yeah, this is awesome, dude.
Not really, but
it's not.
Welcome to the internet.
No, it's cool. It's cool. I like what you're doing.
You
got a class tomorrow? I understand.
Tomorrow, and then the next day, and then they blur together. Next 5 days.
Yeah.
And what you're passing through.
Yeah.
On your way to sniper school.
Yep. Then we're gonna go to. Don't tell me. I can't think of what it's called. gathering of snipers.
Okay.
It's I guess it's like a grudge match between the Marines and Army.
Really?
Somewhere Pig River Precision in Virginia.
Okay.
I don't know. We've
Cool.
always supported a lot of different matches,
Oh, yeah.
but it's we're going to be out here, and I got a friend, Mark Berry. You know him.
Yeah.
You've met him.
Yep. Good people.
Yep. We're going to try to run into them also in Virginia. So
Well, try to make me some connections, because my passion is precision fires and supporting the assault force. But that's everybody wants pistol. And close in carbine. Long range shots, 25 meters. Guys, I'm all I'm saying is I like filming long range videos. I like getting out and shooting long distance. So I actually like that more and more of our tactical rifleman viewers are getting into shooting longer distances. I got the guys that make the KSG. They make chassis. That name familiar?
KSG. I know KGR.
KGR. They reached out. It turns out those
Good
two guys
people.
are fifth group guys.
Yeah, good
And
people.
they're like, Carl, we remember they were sniper instructors at
Yeah.
fifth group sniper locker. And they're like, we remember pictures of Carl Erickson up on the wall.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, they're good guys.
so anyways, they reached out to me. They're like, we want to start doing stuff with tactical riflemen. I'm like, awesome. Cool. So now I just need to get a gun that one of their chassis will fit on. That will make it work. It's gonna be awesome. Gonna be
I think they make chassis for everything, don't they?
except for my Ruger Precision. I don't have a lot of bolt guns, guys.
Yeah.
I'm big on gas guns, but I'll track down. I will get one of your. I will borrow. Like your Sacco, I know they do Sacco stocks.
Yeah, I got one of their stocks on the back of it, a folding stock.
Okay.
Yep, I know those
Oh,
guys.
that would save them money. If I can borrow it and do a video.
I think they've done that. That's probably first generation of that. They do good stuff.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
They're legit guys.
I invited them to come to Fifth Group Reunion. Guys, Fifth Group Reunion is next week. Fifth Special Forces Group Reunion next week. No, you're not invited. Actually, you are, though. What we're going to do is our Tactical Tuesday live stream, which is going to be next. Work with me here. Work with me. That's right. Next Tuesday. We're going to do it at the Leatherwood Distillery. And they're going to be doing, it's open to all the Fifth Group alumni that have flown in for the reunion. So I should be able to have you guys some great guests. I'm going to give Steve the mic and just let him call everybody on and let them do old war stories and everything. The A15 reunion, my old SIF company, their reunion is Friday night. I'm not filming that. There's so much stuff that could be used against me in a court of law. It does not need to be filmed at all. So we're going to stick with the Tuesday live stream. How you doing, Jackie? Jackie,
He's a puppy.
This is Casey's puppy.
Yep.
Jackie.
Jack.
Go away.
Who dat?
Okay.
Who dat? Go away.
All right, Casey, I appreciate
Yep,
that.
yep.
I'm going to wrap this up with them, and I'm going to come out and visit with you. When you coming back through town?
Yes.
He's like, I'm not. I'm taking another route. I'm staying away from Kentucky. Thanks a lot. Hey, Casey, great seeing you, brother.
Good seeing
I'll
you.
come visit with you here in a minute. All right. Wow, can you believe we're at 8:40 again already? I'm going to see if I have any more questions come in from JT. The last one that I got from him, Philip Wilson, threw down $5. Do you abandon the equipment you just mentioned on the Afghan mountain, or do you hump it back out? Well, he's talking about guys who I mentioned earlier about climbing mountains in the dark. We hauled everything out. We would strip down our MREs, so there was just basically the foil wrappers on the food, and I humped out all my trash. We humped in 11 quarts of water per guy, and you hauled out the empty. We use MSR bladders; they're 10-liter bladders, and then Camelback on the. I actually ran two 50-ounce Camelbacks because they would sit right in the small of my back with my Alice pack frame on my mountain rucksack. A tall 100-ounce Camelback doesn't ride well with a tall rucksack, so two 50-ounces side by side did. A little bit of trivia for you there. But all the dead batteries, all that stuff, the spotting scopes, obviously we carried that in. We had to carry it back out. It gets heavy. Climbing a mountain in the dark sucked. But where everybody got hurt was climbing back down the mountain the final night to get on the helicopter. We started climbing down the mountain right about sundown. The helicopter was supposed to land at 02:22 in the morning. It was an MH-53 helicopter, and the plan was for us to be at the helicopter landing zone by 9 p.m. 2100, and then the rest of the night we could just set up a perimeter, make sure there were no obstacles. I had a guy fell, broke his arm, cracked the arm in his bone in his forearm. Another guy, and I've got pictures, I'll show you guys one of these days. Another guy cut his head open. Jeremy Lyle fell so many times he ripped the back of his pants out from his knees all the way to his belt loops. He basically went down the mountain with a set of assless chaps, and it's not just that the cloth was missing. His butt cheeks looked like raw hamburger because he had fallen and slid so many times. I'm not joking. Everybody got tore up real bad. We got to the spot the captain had picked out to land the helicopter, and you couldn't put a helicopter there. So we started searching and moving, and finally we could hear the helicopter coming up through the valley at 02:21, and I came up over this little rise. I ran ahead of everybody else, and because everybody was too tired, I ran up over the top, and there was a spot big enough to put all three landing gear down on the ground, and I cut my rucksack loose, and I pulled my IR chem light that had a 6-foot piece of 550 cord wrapped around it with a loop at the end. I pulled it off the front of my kit, put my finger through the loop, and just started spinning the IR chem light. It's called a buzzsaw. And we never talked to the helicopter. We didn't tell them, hey, we're right here. They were coming up the valley, and they saw the little loop of IR light, and they came right in and landed. And we got on, and they told us afterwards over the intercom, they're like, no shit, you were here. We were taking bets. There's no way anybody could land on this part of the mountain. Wasn't going to happen. We figured we'd have to come back tomorrow night. But climbing down a mountain is a lot harder than climbing up a mountain. Funny stuff, a little bit of military trivia there for you. Isn't that some crazy stuff indeed? JT is saying I'm all caught up. I've got Steve Holland wanted me to remind you guys about the Leatherwood Distillery. Steve is sending more pictures. Ray Craddock just said, I just ordered the Nutrient TR kit. Just need a TR blackout shirt like Emery and Steve. I appreciate that, dude. What he's talking about, guys, is Ray Craddock just bought one of my buckets. I love these things, dude. I do. I love them. One, they stack awesome in your workshop. That's where I store not all of our family's survival food, but a bit of it. But the other part, because they're actually made for stacking, guys. But the cool part is this is the exact height plus a half an inch for underneath the top deck inside my Jeep. So I can put this in the trunk of my Jeep or in my camper, my off-road camper, and it's the perfect height. In my off-road camper, 3-wide compartment, the middle one I flip upside down, so so the yellow lid is right here, and it allows me to go 3 wide. Guys, that is what's the medical term for it? a metric shit ton. It is a metric shit ton of survival food. And it's the stuff me and my son like to eat. And I'm not exaggerating when I say that my son has got a number 10 can of home-style scramble, which is eggs and green peppers and chilies, and it's good. But it's sitting right next to my coffee maker because we eat the stuff. I know we're probably supposed to be saving it for a rainy day, but it's better than doing frickin' ramen and Pop-Tarts. You know, you go to the pantry, you're looking for a snack. It's not time to take the dogs to Sonic and get cheeseburgers yet, but you're hungry. You know, I'll do some Southwestern medley or one of the other flavors that I put in my bucket down there. So good stuff, guys. Good stuff indeed. Craddock, I guarantee you'll like the food that I picked out. Guys, we are all caught up. I know it's a little early for me to be stopping. But honest, I'm going to ask you guys politely. I really don't care whether you say yes or no, but I'm going to ask you if it's okay if we cut it a little early tonight. Here's why. I've got to get up at 5:30, and I've got 5 days of training going, and I'm the lead instructor, and it sucks. I just had a knee replacement, and while it's not hurting per se, it's very tight, and if I stay on my feet for too long, it starts to swell. I don't have a choice. For the next 5 days, I'm going to be on my feet. So I've already accepted it. I've sucked it up that, I will work on rehab again next week. But this week, the show must go on. And so again, guys, thank you for your support here. I want to thank my sponsor, Bucked Up. Right? If you want to be rocking the pre-workout stuff, I've got 2 pre-workouts I'm using. Woke AF, you know what that stands for. That's the really one that'll amp you up. And then the other pre-workout one I like, it's the original one called Bucked Up. And favorite flavor will always be the Blue Raz. Emery likes the buckshots. I'm more the pre-workout. Post-workout, that one's all gone. I don't even remember what the name of it was. But again, if you're interested in the stuff you're trying to get in shape, go to buckedup.com to get their supplements. If you just want the energy drinks and stuff, buckedupenergy.com. Decent stuff indeed. Again, guys, if I've only got 3 classes left for you to sign up the rest of the year. That's it. And that's because I've got, like I mentioned, a Patreon course. I've got some other private courses. I've got training in December with the Texas A&M Corps Cadets Marksmanship Training. My calendar is full. But if you want to get in on the best training that I know to offer you guys, tacticalrifleman.com. Yeah, without a doubt, guys, without a doubt. I hope you all will join us next Tuesday. We're going to be at the Leatherwood Distillery. If you guys live around Fort Campbell, Clarksville, Nashville area, the Leatherwood Distillery is off base. So even though that week is the 5th Special Forces Group reunion, you're more than welcome to come to the Leatherwood Distillery. Meet some of my heroes, the 5th Group guys that I looked up to. Come meet some of my heroes, the MACV SOG guys that are going to be there. And we're going to have a great time. I'm sure there will be somebody there buying rounds of drinks, and you can watch the TR live stream live. So if you guys are in the area, I look forward to seeing you there. I actually hope some of you guys will show up and visit and say, hey, Carl, I watched you last week live. I want to do this live in person. I'll bring you on the film. I'll bring you on the camera. You can share what brought you to this insane place we call the Asylum. Some people call it the chat room. We call it the Asylum. I love the Asylum. I love all of our TR Nation family. I especially love all my patrons because I don't know if you noticed, YouTube realized who we are and that we're trying to make the world a better place, and they don't like that. So we've been demonetized, which is okay because it means I'm doing something right. So it's my patrons that are keeping Tactical Rifleman alive. And sincerely, I want to thank all my patrons out there. You want to learn more about our patreon.com/Tactical Rifleman. You can go there and you'll see all the things that you will have access to. And some of our best videos are only on Patreon. They're not for the open internet, which I think is cool. Story time with Randy Worst. Fun stuff indeed. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap this up. I don't have Steve here to give you guys parting words of wisdom. I don't. So I'm going to just give a big shout out and support to, thank you for the support to my blushing bride and all the rest of my family, including my Patreon family. Big thank you to my moderators tonight, Donut and JT, for picking up Susan's slack while she's off on vacation down in Australia. And I want to, again, shout out to Steve Holland if he's still watching. I want to thank Twitch for being a guest tonight along with Emery and my best friend Casey Belts. It is always great hanging out with you guys. It really is. So that's all I got. Y'all take care and shoot straight.